Welcome to Heartfelt Tales. Tonight's tale centers on Ethan Hayes, a self-made billionaire CEO who believed he possessed it all: power, wealth, and control. However, a single moment at an upscale restaurant disrupts his meticulously crafted existence when he encounters a familiar woman from his past, accompanied by 2 children at her side. His universe shifts. The similarity is unmistakable. Are those his offspring? What was the reason for her to keep them hidden? And how will he confront the truth? Join us as we delve into this poignant tale of remorse, salvation, and the struggle for kinship. Before we dive in, please share your location with us, and remember to like, share, and subscribe for more compelling narratives that resonate deeply. Now let's dive in. The evening was meant to be a refuge. Ethan Hayes, the formidable leader of Hayes Global Tech, emerged from his polished black vehicle, deftly adjusting the cuffs of his luxurious suit. The elegant facade of the high-end eatery sparkled beneath the urban glow, hinting at a night filled with refined charm. This evening, he yearned to set aside the demands of work. There are no calls, absolutely no meetings, simply a serene evening meal. Yet, as he crossed the threshold, an unsettling restlessness tugged at him, a quiet murmur in his core suggesting that something unforeseen was on the verge of happening. His trusted companion and aide, Oliver, was already seated at their designated table by the expansive windows that framed the skyline. Ethan settled into his chair, releasing a deep breath as he adjusted his tie with a casual flick. Oliver observed, a brow arched. "You seem tense." "Just the same old thing," Ethan murmured, brushing his fingers along his jawline. "Rivals attempting to weaken the organization. Investors are feeling uneasy." The typical response, Oliver smirked. "That's the reality of being at the pinnacle, my friend. It seems that many are eager to step into your shoes." Ethan scarcely caught his words. He found himself scanning the restaurant, unsure if it was merely a habit or if some deeper instinct was guiding him. In that moment, he laid eyes on her. Mia Carter. His breath caught in his throat. She sat at a quaint table tucked in the corner, adorned in a sophisticated deep blue dress that accentuated the poised manner in which she held herself. Time had not lessened her allure, nor the impact she had on him. Yet that wasn't the catalyst that turned his world upside down. Next to her were 2 small girls. They were likely no more than 6 years old. Brunette, filled with wonder, their features achingly recognizable. Ethan's heart raced with intensity. Negative. It simply wasn't possible. Yet the defined contours of their cheeks, the manner in which she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear was captivating. It felt as though he was gazing into a reflection of his own youthful memories. His hold on the table grew firmer. His whole reality had just transformed. Oliver tracked his gaze, then leaned in closer. "Ethan, what is it exactly?" Yet Ethan remained silent. He was unable to. At that precise instant, Mia raised her gaze. Her gaze locked onto his. In a fleeting moment, he perceived it all. Stunned. Acknowledgement. Terror. Additionally, there is another point to consider. Remorse. The moment lingered, heavy with untold stories and hidden sorrow. Then, as if becoming aware of her prolonged gaze, Mia swiftly redirected her focus to the children. With a soft murmur, one of the girls looked up, locking her gaze directly on Ethan. In that fleeting moment, he understood. His heart raced with intensity. A sharp tang lingered in his throat. Could it be that he had been a father all this time, unaware? Oliver's voice pierced the silence of his mind. Calm yet resolute. "Is there something you would like me to take care of?" Ethan took a deep breath. He was a visionary who crafted legacies, secured multi-billion-dollar agreements, managed every facet of his existence. Yet nothing could have equipped him for this moment. "No," Ethan said. His voice was barely audible. "I must have a conversation with her." Isolated. Mia, as if attuned to his purpose, suddenly rose, grasping the girl's hands. She was departing. Fear took hold of him. Negative. "Here we go again." He slid his chair away from the table, hardly noticing Oliver's voice calling out to him. He needed to find her before she vanished into thin air. Before she vanished from his life once more. Ethan's hands quivered ever so slightly as he swept them through his hair. His thoughts spun wildly, burdened by the gravity of Mia's recent revelation. The girls belonged to him. He was the father of 2 daughters. 2 young girls who had spent their whole lives unaware of his existence. He felt a sharp pain in his chest as the truth dawned on him. The overwhelming burden of his missed opportunities weighed on him, a load far too heavy to carry. He observed them as they engaged in their play. Their laughter echoed in the crisp night air, so pure, so oblivious to the intricate chaos enveloping them. They were stunning, vibrant and dynamic. Each smile was a glimpse into a mirror, revealing the echoes of his past. The similarity was unmistakable. Their noses scrunched up in the most delightful way as they giggled. The defined angle of their cheekbones, the rich, dark hue of their eyes. How could he have been so unaware? How had he devoted 6 years to constructing an empire, striking agreements that amount to billions? As his own kin matured in his absence, Mia remained by his side. She embraced herself with a firm grip. Her expression was a mystery. The atmosphere between them was charged. Years of silent suffering hovering in the gaps of their conversation. Ethan had braced himself for numerous possibilities this evening. Unforeseen corporate gatherings, corporate sabotage, perhaps yet another encounter with the media. Yet, he was utterly unprepared for what lay ahead. He pivoted to meet her gaze. His voice has softened now, more resolute even with the turmoil within. Why didn't you share that with me? His words lacked anger, simply weighed down by disbelief. Mia let out a breath, gazing downwards, as if in pursuit of a hidden truth. Your intentions regarding my place in your life were unmistakably conveyed. When we concluded our relationship, Ethan, you chose not to glance back. You immersed yourself in your tasks, within your aspirations. And I didn't want to push you into something you never desired. He gave a slight shake of his head. His jaw clenched. That choice wasn't yours to determine. She emitted a laugh devoid of humor. Her eyes glistened, holding back a tide of uncried tears. Was it not? I found myself gathering the fragments. You have progressed. Yet, I needed to discover how to nurture 2 children by myself. I found myself faced with decisions, Ethan, and during that period, I believed I was acting in their best interest. His stomach churned at the idea of her facing challenges by herself, of her shouldering this weight alone. He had become utterly absorbed in the unyielding chase for achievement, enhancing his own abilities, that he was unaware of what he was departing from. He yearned to feel anger, to question why she hadn't made any effort to connect. Yet, beneath the surface, he understood that if she had, he likely would have remained silent. That reality was more difficult to accept than any justification. Mia, he began. His voice was gritty. 6 years slipped by unnoticed. That time is lost to me forever. However, I must understand them. This is something I cannot simply abandon. Mia's demeanor became gentler. Even so, her posture stayed defensive. What does that really signify? One cannot simply intrude upon their existence and anticipate that all will align perfectly. They are unaware of your existence. They see you as an outsider. I wish to feel connected, he confessed, his voice heavy with feeling. I understand that the past is beyond my control. Yet I find myself present in this moment. I aspire to take on the role of their father. A prolonged silence lingered in the air as Mia observed him intently. Examining his expression for genuine emotion, she nodded in response. Gradually, with uncertainty. If you truly mean to pursue this, we proceed gradually, focusing on each step as it comes. Take your time. Avoid making grand gestures that might overwhelm them. Ethan gave a slight nod. He didn't anticipate instant approval. He was ready to put in the effort. Absolutely. She cast a fleeting look at the girls. They were now seated on the grass, utterly unaware of the gravity of the discussion unfolding mere feet from them. Then she faced him once more. I will share your story with them. However, I must approach it in a manner that won't intimidate them. The idea of them feeling fear towards him, concerning the notion of him. A sudden jolt of agony pierced his chest. He had dedicated years to leading boardrooms, choosing paths that impacted countless lives. Yet, for the first time in his life, he experienced a genuine fear of making a mistake. Mia rose to her feet, gently sweeping away unseen particles from her denim. The hour is growing late. I ought to bring them back with me. Ethan rose to his feet as well, unwilling to part with her. Yet, he was aware that he had no other option. May I accompany you to your vehicle? She paused, uncertainty flickering in her eyes, then gave a nod. Very well. As they approached the parking lot, Ethan cast another furtive look at the girls. They were leaping forward, sharing laughter over a private joke that only they could grasp. His daughters. The words lingered on. Exotic. Dreamlike. His heart tightened as he came to understand the extent of the moments he had already lost. Initial phrases. Initial strides. Celebrations of life. Rugged knees. Tales for the night. He had missed every moment of it. Upon arriving at Mia's vehicle, she pivoted to meet his gaze. I'll give you a call, she remarked. Her tone was now gentler, more open. After I've had a conversation with them. He took a deep breath and gave a slight nod. Thanks a lot. Subsequently, before he had the chance to utter another word, she swung the back door wide open, assisting the girls as they settle into their seats. They completely ignored him, so engrossed in their own small universe. Yet, he was aware that it would come to him shortly. That would transform. Mia navigated her way out of the parking lot. Ethan remained in place, observing the glow of taillights diminish as they disappear into the darkness, experiencing a deeper sense of confusion than he had in a long time. The following morning, Ethan perched at the expansive window of his penthouse, gazing across the urban horizon. However, just this once, his thoughts were far from the realm of business. His mind was wholly absorbed by the occurrences of the previous night. He had hardly caught any sleep, reflecting on each word exchanged with Mia, each look at the girls. Each fragment of remorse weighed heavily in his heart. A sudden knock at the door interrupted his reverie. He pivoted as Oliver entered the room, gripping a tablet. You must witness this, Oliver remarked. His voice carried an unusual tension. Ethan scowled, administering the tablet. His stomach plummeted the instant he laid eyes on the screen. His visage dominated the headlines of numerous news outlets, accompanied by a headline that sent chills down his spine. A billionaire CEO navigates a hidden family controversy. Are the twins unveiled? The piece was filled with conjecture. Allegations suggest that Ethan secretly fathered 2 children, that he had left their mother behind. He was now attempting to polish his reputation by re-entering their lives. Blurry, grainy photos were captured from the restaurant. Seizing the instant their gazes met, he found himself captivated by Mia. Ethan's hands tightened into fists. The media has consistently shown no mercy. However, this held deep significance. He understood the rapid pace at which whispers could escalate. How effortlessly narratives can be contorted until reality becomes indistinguishable. This is unfortunate, Oliver remarked. Observing his response intently, Ethan released a slow breath, controlling his anger. How did this leak? Oliver shook his head in disbelief. I have no clue. Yet, there was a desire for this to make its way into the headlines. Ethan's jaw tightened. He could imagine several individuals eager to witness his downfall. Competitors? Rivals? Even some members of his own board, who had been anticipating a reason to challenge his leadership for quite some time. However, at this moment, nothing of that significance held any weight. His mind was consumed by thoughts of Mia and the young women. He picked up his phone and called her number. She answered on the 3rd ring. Ethan? Her voice carried a hint of concern. You've witnessed it, he remarked with a somber tone. Certainly, I've come across it. There are journalists outside my residence. Her voice carried a palpable tension. Overwhelmed with anxiety. Ethan? The young women, what if they were to? I'll take care of this, he interrupted. His fingers clenched around the phone.
Y assure you.
Quietude. Then, in a gentler tone, she remarked, you'd better. Ethan concluded the conversation. His thoughts were already in a whirlwind. This extended beyond mere preservation of his reputation. This was centered on safeguarding his daughters. He was determined to ensure they would never endure the relentless gaze of the public. He glanced over at Oliver. His expression was stern. Please arrange a meeting with our PR team. Discover the source of this leak. Oliver gave a slight nod. I'm on it. Ethan cast a final look at the headlines before powering down the tablet. The one responsible for this had clearly erred. Ethan Carter was a man who never shied away from a challenge. Ethan acted swiftly. He understood that the media storm wouldn't subside without intervention. He was determined to shield Mia and the girls from the relentless pursuit of reporters due to his previous errors. In less than 60 minutes, he gathered his public relations team for a meeting, planning ways to shape the story. He absorbed their suggestions as they shared their thoughts. Statements for managing damage. Unique conversations. A comprehensive media campaign to redirect focus. Yet, everything seemed off. This was more than a mere business scandal. This was his kin. I am indifferent to how others perceive me. Ethan finally spoke up. His voice pierced the cacophony. My sole concern is their protection. Their team became quiet. He was unlike anything they had ever witnessed before. Incredibly intimate. So unfiltered. Ethan had constructed his domain through reason and mastery. Yet this circumstance had stirred something deep within him. It was an experience he had not encountered before. Oliver inclined his body, eager and attentive. It is essential for us to uncover the source of this leak and the motivations behind it. Should it have been deliberate? There are forces at play that seek to diminish your standing. Ethan's jaw clenched. He faced a multitude of adversaries in the corporate arena. This was a real hit below the belt. He was on the verge of replying when his phone erupted with sound. Mia was the one. He politely stepped away and responded right away. Mia, how are you doing? Her voice cut through the air with precision. Uneasy. Negative. Ethan, I'm feeling unwell. The young women are filled with fear. They fail to grasp the reason behind the crowd gathered outside, armed with cameras. Why is it that we can't visit school or even the park without someone attempting to capture our moments on camera? I expressed that I didn't desire this for them. Ethan experienced a profound pang of remorse. I sincerely apologize. This took me by surprise. I promise I will make it right. In what way? Her voice trembled. What's the best way to resolve an issue like this? I can take them somewhere safe, he said without hesitation. Secluded spot. Far from all of this. Mia paused, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. What happens next? This lingers on. Ethan, it has been released into the world. Rest assured I will take care of it. I have individuals who can ensure this vanishes. A lengthy pause lingered in the air between them. At last, Mia let out a deep sigh. The girls are entitled to the honesty I owe them, not from a mere headline. I concur. Ethan remarked. Let's gather them for a discussion. It's time to reveal the reality. In unity, Mia let out a slow breath. Understood. As the evening progressed, Ethan made his way to Mia's house. His presence instantly captivated the attention of reporters lingering outside. Measures had already been implemented for security, making certain that everyone maintained their distance. However, it remained true that the harm had already been inflicted. He stepped into the house. His heart raced as he caught sight of the girls lounging on the couch. Their eyes, wide and bewildered, brimmed with confusion. Mia took her place beside them. Her expression was serene yet fatigued. She beckoned to the seat beside her. With a deep breath, Ethan settled into his seat. Young women, Mia started gently. Her voice was soft and soothing. We have a significant matter to discuss with you. The twins exchanged glances. Curiosity and apprehension danced in their expressions. This is Ethan. Mia pressed on. Her voice remained unwavering. even with the feelings that lay beneath. He is your father. The words lingered in the atmosphere, charged with an impending explosion. The young women blinked, pausing to reflect. And then there was Lily, the one who speaks up more readily of the pair. She tilted her head. Is that our father? Ethan inclined his body ever so slightly. His voice was gentle. Indeed, I only became aware of you too not long ago. I sincerely apologize for that. Sophia scowled. Where have you been? The question Ethan had been fearing finally arrived. Yet, he understood that confronting it was inevitable. I have erred. Once upon a time, I allowed obstacles to arise between your mother and me. Consequently, I was unaware of your existence. However, I wish to alter that at this moment. I desire to be present in this moment. Lily folded her arms across her chest. What is the reason for this timing? Ethan sensed a tightening in his chest. He anticipated doubt. Yet the pain lingered. I ought to have been present from the very beginning. I certainly was not. However, if you would permit me, I want to atone for that. The young women shared knowing looks. Sophia appeared to be more uncertain. Yet Lily observed him intently, as though weighing the decision to place her trust in him. Mia entered the room. This may feel overwhelming. There's no need to have all the answers immediately. However, Ethan desires to be a part of your lives. It's essential for you to become acquainted with him. Sophia finally found her voice once more. Her voice was soft. Are you departing once more? Ethan shook his head firmly, without a moment's doubt. Negative. I will not be departing. Regardless of the outcome, I will always stand by your side. The girls hesitated before responding. Yet Ethan noticed a change in their expressions. A small fissure in the barriers they had instinctively erected. It lacked complete acceptance. Not at this moment. Yet it marked the beginning. With each passing day, Ethan fulfilled his commitment. He refrained from pushing, did not inundate them. He arrived, time and time again, whether it was for a relaxed evening meal, a stroll through the park, or simply to be present when they sought answers. Gradually, the barriers that separated them started to crumble. On a serene afternoon, while seated in Mia's backyard, he observed the girls at play. Lily dashed toward him in an instant. A shy smile graced her lips. Would you like to join us for a game of tag? She inquired. Her voice was timid yet filled with optimism. Ethan experienced a constricting sensation in his chest. It was merely a trivial detail. However, to him, it was of utmost significance. He smiled broadly. I would be delighted to, Mia observed from the porch. Her gaze softened as she witnessed the girls gradually starting to embrace the man who had once been an unfamiliar presence. It wasn't flawless. It was quite a challenge. Yet it was genuine. As dusk settled in, Mia and Ethan lingered outside while the girls rested peacefully within. The tumult of the media had ultimately subsided. Appreciation goes to Ethan's team for their efforts in subtly transforming the story. He made certain that the girls' privacy was honored. In the process, he had regained a fragment of Mia's trust. You truly managed to resolve it, Mia whispered softly. Ethan shifted his gaze towards her. His voice was soft and soothing. I truly meant what I expressed. I'm here to stay. Mia observed him intently for a prolonged moment before giving a nod of understanding. Excellent. After an extended period of absence, Ethan experienced a profound sense of tranquility. He had devoted years to the pursuit of success. Having faith in that was everything. Yet as I stand here now, with Mia by his side and his daughters finally welcoming him in, he came to understand that he had discovered something infinitely more precious. A household, a new opportunity, and this moment, he would make the most of it. We appreciate your time spent with heartfelt stories. If this tale resonated with you, please remember to give a thumbs up, provide your thoughts, and join us for more heartfelt and uplifting stories. Share with us your location while you tune in. Until we meet again.